What's going on, my fellow listeners? This is Austin Sweet here, and tonight I thought I'd do something just a little bit different for you guys. We're going to do wrestling talk in the form of my Off the Chain podcast. That's right, and if you guys happen to like where this goes, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you want to see more of this. So anyways, tonight I wanted to talk about one of my favorite wrestlers that is no longer with us. I want to talk about Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber, however you guys remember him by. What are my thoughts on Brodie Lee, aka Luke Harper? Brodie Lee, aka Luke Harper, however you want to remember him by. He was, in my opinion, without a doubt, one of the best professional wrestlers I have ever seen. He started on the indies, Combat Zone Wrestling. You can talk about him. You can't go like a minute into a conversation and not bring up like Luke Harper or Brodie Lee. Like, if you want to talk about the wrestlers that we lost real early, that's one of them. That is Luke Harper, Brodie Lee. And then he would make his way into the WWE in about 2014, 2015, as a part of Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family with Eric Rowan. They started out in NXT together. Bray Wyatt was just the perfect wrestler. Literally had one of the best gimmicks, in my opinion. Luke Harper stood out, in my opinion, as my favorite member of the Wyatts. When they were in NXT together, him and Rowan became the NXT Tag Team Champions. And then they made it to the main roster, where Harper had like a lot of good matches. And his singles run, in my opinion, was one of, if not, in my opinion, the most underrated singles run that he had. Yes, I was a Harper fan back then. Still am and forever will be. He was the Intercontinental Champion. I think he held it on 2 separate occasions. I don't know if I'm right on that. And then he got released. And here, in my opinion, is where he shined. This is where he shined. He shined in the WWE, but the spotlight was on him when he arrived in AEW. When he arrived in AEW, I mean, he got the attention of pretty much everyone in the back. And yes, I got AEW Rampage going at the time of this recording. Penelope Ford just blindsided Ruby Soho. Now it's 2-on-1. So, but back to Brodie Lee. This, in my opinion, is where he shined. When he was a member of the Dark Order. When he was a member of the Dark Order, this is when he shined. It was when AEW was in an empty arena. Okay, this was when AEW was in an empty arena because of the pandemic and everything that was going on at the time. He debuted the same night as Matt Hardy did. It all started when Christopher Daniels said there is no Exalted One, when the Dark Order said that there is an Exalted One, and the Exalted One was revealed to be Brodie Lee. I mean, you can't deny the fact that Brodie Lee was the best in AEW. He debuted, he ran roughshod through the AEW roster. Just absolutely amazing. And this is where he shined. His rivalry with Cody Rhodes, in my opinion, was one of Cody Rhodes' best rivalries, one of his best rivals, one of his best opponents. And he literally mopped the floor with Cody. Brodie Lee did. And he became the TNT champion. He literally became the TNT champion in like a matter of seconds against Cody Rhodes. And then his last match was, of course, the match that he had with Cody. It was a dog collar match. In my opinion, one of the most brutal dog collar matches that AEW ever had. And then he passed away. And then sadly, unfortunately, we would lose Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber, however you guys remember him by, at the age of 41. And AEW held a tribute episode for Brodie Lee. In my opinion, that was one of the best, if not the best, Dynamites I've ever watched. Brodie Lee not only touched the hearts of many, he touched the hearts of everyone in the back. I've heard stories about Luke Harper, Brodie Lee, by a lot of WWE superstars and a lot of the good AEW talent. And in my opinion, Brodie Lee never got the shine that he got. He never really became AEW World Champion. And I would have loved to have seen at least one AEW World Championship title reign from Brodie Lee before he passed. And I just want to go ahead and say, I'm getting really emotional right now because he was one of my favorites. Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber, you are dearly missed by all of the pro wrestling fans that watched you, and you were good friends with all of the AEW and WWE rosters, especially WWE. I know you were good friends with Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and especially Rowan. When you and him were the Bludgeon Brothers, just amazing stuff. The chemistry between Harper and Rowan was undoubtedly the best chemistry. And it's hard. It was hard for me to hear that he passed. I remember the night that he did. I can't remember what I was doing, but I got the news that he passed, and that was that. My heart broke. I was numb for like a little bit. I mean, 41 years old and him passing away like that. It's kind of crazy. And you have to excuse me. I've never gotten emotional before on one of my podcasts, but this is kind of where I'm getting a little emotional. I watched, like I said, Brodie Lee, Luke Harper a gazillion times when he was in WWE. I even saw him live at Fastlane when he was with Rowan of the Bludgeon Brothers. And I've watched his dog collar match. I watched his dog collar match that he had with Cody. And I watched the nice memorial tribute that they had with Brodie. And I just now found out that they signed Brodie's widow, Amanda, to AEW. That's how you give justice to Brodie Lee and his family. And Negative One, his son, will be an AEW superstar when he becomes older. So I really cannot wait and see what happens when Negative One becomes a pro wrestler. I'm sure he'll live on with his father's legacy and walk in the same footsteps that he did. And he'll have the same career just like Brodie Lee did. So that'll do it for this episode of Wrestling Talk, guys. If you guys like this format, let me know down below. Let me know if you guys want me to keep doing them. I would love to do it. So until next time, guys, I appreciate you guys listening. If you haven't done so already, like, comment, and subscribe down below on this channel. Hit the post notification bell so that way you don't miss the other videos that I have coming up. Subscribe to the second channel, The Horror Movie Freak. And subscribe to the Horror After Dark podcast. That's a podcast that I do with Joe. And yeah, thank you guys very much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Oh,